Look around you right now. The device you're watching this on costs more than what most people in developing countries make in a year. The internet connection you're using to stream this video is something billions of people would kill for. And what are you doing with it? Scrolling, consuming, procrastinating. Every time you open your phone, you see young people taking advantage of opportunities right in front of them. People your age with the same 24 hours, building businesses, creating wealth, and changing their families' lives forever. And what do? You scroll past it. You ignore the gift sitting right in front of you. I'm going to be brutally honest with you today. Not to make you feel bad, but to wake you up. Because in 2025, the gap alone between those who are taking action and those who are just consuming content is getting wider and wider every single day. Here's what most people miss about success in the digital age. It's not about motivation. It's not about feeling good. It's about understanding that your life isn't just about you. When I was a kid, my mom would wake up every morning between 4 to 5 a.m. to take me to daycare before heading to work. My aunt would have to then pick me up after school because my mom was still working. There were times when money got so tight that my mom would literally have to go sell her blood for extra cash just to make sure that we had what we needed. That reality, seeing that level of sacrifice, it changes you. It creates something inside of you that most people in our generation never develop. A sense of duty. Everything I do carries my parents' name, their sacrifices, their legacy. I am indebted to them, and their debt fuels me every single day. We live in a world where most people your age think life is all about them, their comfort, their convenience, their immediate gratification. Meanwhile, there are people in developing countries who would literally risk their lives for opportunities you're scrolling past on your phone right now. Let that sink in for a second. You're sitting there with more knowledge in your pocket than the greatest libraries in human history, with more opportunity than kings had 100 years ago, and you're still finding excuses not to act. This isn't about motivation. This is about duty. When I started my first business, I wasn't motivated every day. Some days I wanted to quit. Some days I questioned everything, but I show up no matter what. Not because I feel like it, but because I understand something deeper. I owe it to my parents who sacrificed everything to give me this chance. Now, let me ask you something. Who are you indebted to? Is it your parents who worked multiple jobs to put food on the table? Is it your grandparents who left everything behind to give your family a better life? Is it your future children who will carry your name and your legacy? Because once you're able to answer that question, honestly, procrastination becomes simply impossible. When you understand that your actions aren't just about you, everything changes. Suddenly, I don't feel like it isn't a good enough excuse anymore. I don't need to tell you about the thousands of people who are currently using the internet to make money, to retire and support their family. Every time you open your phone and see people take advantage of these opportunities given to them, you see it and you just ignore it. The gift is sitting right in front of you. That's what happens when you understand duty. But here's the real truth that most people miss. Duty isn't a burden. It's actually the secret to consistency. When your why is bigger than yourself, you don't need motivation. You just need to remember who you're doing it for. Now, after watching this video, I want you to do something right then. I want you to stop whatever you're going to do next and pull out your phone, open your camera roll, and find a picture of the person or people you are indebted to, your parents, your grandparents, your children, whoever it is. Look at that picture for 10 seconds. Really look at it though. Now ask yourself, am I honoring their sacrifices with my actions today? If the answer is no, that's okay, because today is the day everything changes. Here's what I want you to do next. I want you to write down these 3 questions. Who am I indebted to? What opportunities do I have that they never had? What is one action I can take today to honor their sacrifices? The answers to these questions will change everything for you. Because once you understand that your life isn't just about you, procrastination becomes impossible. Look, in 2025, we're living in the greatest wealth transfer in human history. There are more opportunities to build wealth than ever before, but the window won't stay open forever. Every day you procrastinate, someone else is taking the opportunity that could have been yours. Someone who understands duty, someone who's hungry, someone who's willing to do what you're not. The digital economy has created a playing field where anyone can win. You don't need connections, you don't need a fancy degree, and you don't need rich parents. But you do need to understand something that 99% of people don't. Success isn't a solo journey. It's a team sport, and your team started with the people who sacrificed everything for you. I see so many people our age chasing success for all the wrong reasons. They want the cars, the watches, the lifestyle, but that's not what it's about. It's about being able to call your mom and say you don't have to work anymore. It's about being able to handle family emergencies without them even thinking about the cost. It's about creating a legacy that honors the sacrifices of those who came before you. That's the real success, and it starts with locking in. But let me tell you something that most of these motivational gurus won't tell you. This sense of duty, this drive to honor those who came before you, isn't just about working hard. It's about working smart. I see too many people confusing activity with productivity. They think that if they're busy, they're making progress. But being busy and being productive are two completely different things. Your parents didn't make those sacrifices so you could work yourself to death. They made those sacrifices so you could have opportunities they never had. And the greatest opportunity you have right now is leverage. In 2025, there are tools, systems, and platforms that can multiply your efforts in 10x, 100x, and even 1000x. But most people are too busy scrolling, consuming, and procrastinating to take advantage of them. Think about it this way. Your parents probably worked 40, 50, maybe even 60 hours a week just to make ends meet. They traded their time for money in a linear equation. 1 hour of work equals X dollars, but the digital economy doesn't work that way. In the digital economy, 1 hour of the right kind of work can equal tens of thousands of dollars. That's opportunity you're wasting when you procrastinate. I'm not saying this to make you feel bad. I'm saying this to wake you up, because the gap between those who understand leverage and those who don't is getting wider every single day. Let me give you a real example. Since last year, I've been focusing on creating systems for my agency. Those systems will generate me more revenue than my mom has ever made in an entire year working those early morning shifts. That's the power of leverage, and that's the opportunity you have right in front of you. But here's what most people get wrong. They think leverage is about finding shortcuts or hacks. It's not. Leverage is about being strategic with your time and energy. It's about understanding that not all actions are created equal. Some actions have a 10x return, some have a 100x return, and even some have a 1000x return. The problem is that the actions with the highest returns are usually the ones that are the most uncomfortable. They're the ones that require you to step outside your comfort zone. They're the ones that require you to face your fears. And that's where duty comes in, because when you understand that you're not just doing all of this for yourself, facing those fears become easier. When you remember that picture of that person that you're indebted to, taking uncomfortable actions becomes possible. This is why people who have this sense of duty, this sense of understanding that their life isn't just about them, they're the ones who succeed. Not because they're smarter or talented, but because they're willing to do what others won't. They're willing to take the cold calls, they're willing to learn the new skills, they're willing to put themselves out there and risk rejection. Not because they feel like it, but because they understand duty. Now, let me address something important for some of you. You might be thinking, but I don't have anyone I'm indebted to. I had to figure everything out on my own. If that's you, then you're indebted to your future self. You're indebted to the person you could become if you stopped procrastinating and started taking action. The person you are today is living in a house built by the person you were 5 years ago. And the person you'll be in 5 years from now will be living in a house built by the person you are today. So if you don't have a past to honor, build a future worth living in. But for most of you, there is someone who sacrificed for you. There is someone who believed in you when you didn't believe in yourself. There is someone who gave you the opportunities they never had. And honoring their sacrifice isn't just about working hard. It's about working smart. And it's about leveraging the opportunities they never had to create a life that they could never imagine. That's true duty, and that's true honor. So here's what I want you to do next. Take that one action I challenged you to take earlier, but make sure it's a high leverage action. Make sure it's something that can have a 10, 100, or even 1000x return. Maybe it's learning a new skill that can double your income. Maybe it's reaching out to someone who can open doors for you. Maybe it's creating a system that can generate passive income. Whatever it is, make sure it's something that honors the sacrifices of those who came before you by maximizing the opportunities they gave you. Because in 2025, there's no excuse for playing small. There's no excuse for waiting around for the opportunities you already have. There's no excuse for dishonoring the sacrifices that were made for you. It's time to lock in, it's time to take action, and it's time to honor your duty. So here's my challenge for you for the next 30 days. I want you to wake up every morning and look at that picture before you do anything else. Remember who you're doing this for, then take that one action towards your goals. Just one. It doesn't matter how small. What matters is that you're honoring your debt through action. Because the truth is, success isn't about motivation. It's not about feeling good. It's about understanding that your life is bigger than just you. When you truly internalize that, looking in isn't a choice anymore. It's the only option.